Welcome to week 10 of the Advanced Sprint Distance Training Plan. We're continuing our work on strength and stamina, and this week is very similar to last week in the workouts and the volume. I guess I didn't really talk about the volume in last week's video, but we're at 16 hours per week, so that's the highest volume so far in the plan, and it's actually the highest volume block of the entire plan. It will go down slightly in the coming blocks after this one. So definitely it's very demanding training. Also, we discussed the energy requirements of doing this kind of tempo thresholdy type work, because you're doing a lot of it for extended durations. I think that a main thing here to consider as when you're doing this type of training is just fatigue management and assessing on a day-to-day basis how well you are handling the workouts, the intensity, and the volume. And if you are feeling and that you're accumulating fatigue faster than you'd ideally like to, then doing things like skipping the optional ride that you have on Monday, or shortening some of the workouts within the adjustable duration constraints and so on, that might be a good idea to do. And also just the general aspect of making sure that you don't push any harder than prescribed in neither in the easy nor the hard workouts. In terms of, since we are doing kind of the same work as last week, as in particular when we're talking about the threshold tempo work and so on, if you are looking to make some progression, it's important to remember not to push above the power or pace ranges indicated. But if you want to progress, you could do things like, for example, in the hill reps workouts and the strength endurance workouts, you could maybe use a steeper hill, or you could use slightly lower cadence, but still within the cadence range. If you used 60 RPM last time, you can use 50 RPM this time, if it all felt good. So that's an option for progression. But even if you don't do any of those things, just doing the workouts and it feeling easier compared to last week, even if you do the exact same thing, that's a really important sign of progression. So it doesn't always have to stay as hard or get harder. It can get easier, and that's a sign of progression. That's a sign that you're actually adapting to the training. So it's a very good sign. And one other thing is, of course, as we have talked about many times before, that if you're handling the volume well, you can always choose to go on the higher end of the volume side with all of the adjustable duration workouts. In particular with the swim, when you have the option to add additional swimming on Friday, definitely use that. If you're a weaker swimmer, I would highly recommend it. And that's, I guess, a general note on swimming as well. I know that not everybody will like having four swims in a week, but it is super critical to swim a lot to improve. So yeah, you just can't get around that. And for a sprint distance in particular, the swim is so important that in an advanced sprint training plan, you kind of have to have 4 swims at least in some parts of the plan to make it to even make it believable that it is an advanced plan. I believe for this distance specifically, because so much hinges on it. I think those are all the tips that I have for this week. So it's a shorter video. Just go through the workouts again. Hopefully you can make them feel easier than last week, and stay on top of everything. Stay on top of fueling in workouts and nutrition outside of workouts, sleep, etc. And you should be really good to go for next week. So have a good one, and I'll talk to you in a week.